Alright, and welcome back to class extensions. Last time I showed you my solution to the store model problem, as well as one way that we could extend the store model class to maybe include animals as well. Okay, so we included the name of the pet as an additional parameter that store animal should keep, and then we showed you how to write the constructor for this class extension. Now, if we wanted to actually input this in our program, we need a way of handling it. So we'd probably want to include maybe a checkbox to allow the user to check off whether or not this item being added to the inventory is in fact an animal. Kind of barbaric, but we're going to do it anyway. So here we are in the store view. We're going to go over to our palette and we can drag in what's called a J checkbox, which, you guessed it, is a checkbox. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. There it goes. Okay, so that's the checkbox. And we need to, modify its properties like we should do every time. Let's change this variable name to isAnimal. And we should probably make it public just because we're using model view controller and it's annoying if it's not. Okay. We also want to change the text so that it's clear what this checkbox does to the user. So, one sec. Let's go to properties, go to text. Is it an animal? All right, there you go. All right, we go to our source code, and it has created our checkbox is animal. All right, so what we're looking to do here is we want to check to make sure that the user has checked this box in our store controller when they submit the new item. So down here when we have create new item, we need to have a way of checking to see if that box is selected. So we're going to write an if statement, if, and it's view.isAnimal, and I think it's isChecked. I'm not sure though. Is that right? No. We'll Google it real quick. Check to see if J, oopsie. Check to see if J checkbox is checked. Might just be dot checked. Oh, that's jQuery. Come on. Get state is what it is. Convenient. My computer is freezing up on you guys, I'm sorry. So we go to isAnimal.getState. And if it's true, then it's checked. And if it's not, then it's not. Interesting. Huh. It didn't work. Maybe we have to import something that I forgot. Oh. Probably the import for the checkbox. Oopsie. Is selected. There you go. Yeah, it worked. All right, so if it's selected, that means that it is an animal, and if it's not selected, it's not. So let's see. We're going to have to break our code up into these if statements. The ID is going to be the same no matter what. We're still going to input it into store model. Oops, sorry. Let me rewind. So the store model is what we're going to make if it's not an animal. If it is an animal, though, we are going to create a store animal, and that's going to be a store animal. Now remember, this has the same constructors, name, ID, integer dot value of number, but it also has the animal name. And we should probably allow the user to input that, but let's call every animal Charlie for now, just for fun. Why not? Okay. Now here's where this is a little tricky. We're going to need to have item list add new model here, and then we'll also need to make sure we add it to the item list here. This is new animal. We probably could have done that a little bit differently. This is one of the beauties of doing class extensions. For example, if we say up here store model, new model, and just have it be a placeholder name. And instead of this, we could say new model equals new store animal. Now this is interesting because store animal is not technically store model. I mean, it's an extension of store model, but it's not specifically store model. And this is one of the beauties of class extensions, because even though it's actually a completely different class, it still works in the array list, and the array list knows to store it because it's still the same type of base class. This is very useful. Okay. So we're going to add that to our list. And now we can only use one line for it. Yay. Oop. Did I call this wrong? Item list. And we still need to add that text to the row anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and run it and see what happens. Now, right now, there should be no UI difference as a result of what the user has checked. So we haven't told there to be. But the thing is, it still should work the same. So let's see, item name, tomato, 2 tomatoes. And let's see, this is a dog, 1 dog, and it is an animal. And sure enough, it does work. All right, so that's an example of how to create a class extension, handle a little bit of user differentiation in that class extension to make the program use it. And hopefully it's enough for you to start implementing your own extensions, which you'll do in your next problem set. So hope you enjoyed, and see you soon.